everybody. This is a pretty weird YouTube video for me to do, but me and my son are on our way up to Charlotte to pick up the next piece to my next major project. It's something I've been talking about for a while. So when I get up here and I get to what I'm actually going to pick up, I will show you what I'm talking about. But we're going to be on the road for the next 3.5 hours. So next thing you see will be me picking up what we're going to pick up. All right, well, me and my son just stopped and picked up what we came up to Charlotte to pick up. You can see a little bit of it in the rear window, but I'm not going to show you the whole thing until we get back home. So I'm really excited now. I got something that is going to make this make a very good series for this channel. So I hope y'all are going to stick around and see what I'm getting ready to do, because I think it's going to be a blast. So on for another 4-hour drive home. All right, everybody, I'm back at the house, and I've got what I think is going to be the start of a major project that I think everybody's really going to dig. At least I hope everybody's going to dig. I'm going to dig the shit out of it, so I don't care if you like it or not. It's what I like, so sorry. But let me flip the camera around and show you what I got going on. So I purchased a vandalized 2010 guy up in Charlotte. But it got vandalized. But I don't care about the glass. I don't care about any of the body panels. I bought it because this is a 3.8 liter V6 track edition with the 6-speed manual, and it's rear-wheel drive. And I plan on taking this entire drivetrain, whatever else I need as far as steel from underneath the vehicle, fuel cell, all the electronics. But this car, this 2010 Genesis track edition, 3.8 liter, 6-speed manual, rear-wheel drive with the limited slip differential, is going to get put into my 2012 Veloster. So I have no idea, in all honesty, how long this is going to take. But I've wanted to do this for, as far as I know, at least 4 years. I've had the Hyundai for a while, and I put a bunch of miles on it, and I didn't want to sell it at a huge loss. It's paid for, so might as well have fun with it. So I'm going to take everything out of here. I'm not going to take the interior and put it into the Veloster unless I absolutely have to. I'm going to find a way to integrate all the electronics into the Veloster interior. But I'm going to try and keep the key fob gets pushed into that down there in that center console, and then it's got a push button start. So I'm definitely switching over to that because my 2012 is one of the ones that's got a key, so that'll help with anti-theft. But I'm switching everything, all the electronics, both subframes, front subframe, and I'm adding the rear subframe to the Veloster. And I've been taking measurements for quite a while, and yeah, this is getting wedged into the 2012 Veloster. It's going to take a very long time for this project to get done, but this is what's happening whether I like it or not, because I've been planning this for years, and I'm going to do it. Now, in a minute, I'm going to walk up and show you just a walk around to the Veloster and show you what all of this equipment is getting wedged into. And I've had a couple people already online say that they don't think it's possible. Said I had pipe dreams or whatever. And I'll admit, a lot of people on the internet sound like they make a lot of lofty promises, but I'm seeing this through one way or another. Now, it may take me several years to complete this project because of how complex it is, but this is getting done, like I said, whether I like it or not, because I put enough planning in it that I absolutely have to follow through with it now. So I hope you guys will stick around for this build. I think it's going to be something epic. It could take a long time, but I think the end result's going to be very worth it. So, all right, so this is the Veloster. that I'm going to be shoving all the Genesis parts into. I've already taken some measurements in the engine bay, and everything should fit in here. Let me prop the hood up real quick. So everything should fit in here. It's going to be a very tight fit, but it should fit. It'll come all the way up to about an inch away from the front core support, and it's going to go almost all the way to the firewall, but I should not have to modify the firewall. I may have to make some modifications for the brakes, but I'm hoping that I don't. And then I'm gonna have to rearrange some stuff as far as how it is in the Genesis, because the battery is back behind the shock tower and my battery is over here. The ABS module is in the back corner here, and in the Genesis it's up here in the corner. Air intakes on this side on the Veloster, air intakes on this side on the Genesis. But I don't think this is going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. It's going to be very difficult, but I'm going to wedge all that stuff into this car. So, like I said, this car has 250,000 miles on it. I've driven the crap out of it. My daughter's driven the crap out of it. I got it back and drove it some more. I've just been trying to keep this thing band-aided together to keep it driving until I can get to this project. So, but this is, and I got my Hyundai sticker, courtesy of one of the forum members on one of my Facebook group forums. But I think they're called custom graphics. I'm not 100% certain. But this is what's going to have all the Genesis drivetrain in it. And then obviously y'all know what the Veloster interior looks like. But I'm going to try and integrate as much of the electronics out of the Genesis into this car as I can. I'm hoping that I can get the shifter to sit exactly where that shifter is. And then I'm going to have to modify how the key works, because this one has a key in the column and the other one's a push button start. So I don't know how all that's going to work out. Plus this one has electronic power steering and the Genesis has hydraulic power steering with a power steering pump. So I'll get into all that when I start tearing it apart, but this is going to be a major project that I really hope y'all are going to enjoy. So like I said earlier, I've put a lot of time and research into trying to figure out if this is in fact going to work. And based off of what I've been researching, it does look like it's going to work. It's going to require extensive modification, but I should be able to get everything to fit in here the way that it should. It looks like the only modification on the drivetrain that I'm going to have to do is shorten the drive shaft. And I may have to modify the rear axle a little bit to get the spring purchase to sit in the right place, because the Veloster shock towers are 2 inches narrower than the Genesis. So I'm going to have to play around with the suspension a little bit to get it squared away. But like I said, I believe everything on this is going to go in without too much headache. Nothing's going to bolt right in, but it shouldn't be too severe. I'll find that out once I start getting into it. But like I said, I really hope y'all are going to enjoy this project, because once I get the engine and transmission and drivetrain and everything in here and get all the electronics switched over, once I get all that in here and working, then I'm going to start doing crazy ass custom body work. I don't know if it'll be custom, but I'm going to do some crazy ass body work to it to make it look quicker than it is now, because it will be quicker than it is now. So do full body kit, different headlights, different taillights. I'll probably put the turbo taillights in it. Probably put the turbo headlights in it, or get some aftermarket headlights for it. I'm going to do a completely different front bumper, add side skirts to it, do a different rear bumper, do a different hood. But all that's going to take place after I get the drivetrain transplant completely finished. There's no sense in modifying the body if I can't get the damn thing working. So the way that I'm going to approach this is I'm going to be stripping the Genesis. I'd say the majority of the videos in the coming month, 2 months, is going to be dismantling the Genesis. and I'm going to show every single piece of that car being disassembled for my records. So you guys can just follow along if you need to know any information on the Genesis. But I'm going to completely dismantle the Genesis and have it as just a carcass. Strip all the interior out of it, strip all the electronics out of it, strip the subframes out of it, gas tank, you name it. Everything's coming out of there. It's just going to be a bare carcass. And then I'm going to leave the bare carcass sitting outside for when I start messing with the Veloster. So once I get the Genesis completely disassembled, then I will start messing with the Veloster. I'm not going to touch the Veloster until the Genesis is completely disassembled. So I'm going to completely disassemble it, label all the parts, organize them, get everything squared away. Then I'm going to start with doing the rear axle. So I'm going to remove the rear flex axle out of the back of the Veloster and start looking at how I got to cut the trunk pan, and go ahead and cut the trunk pan out of the Genesis, weld it into the back of this one, and get the rear subframe completely bolted in and sitting in place, and possibly a gas tank. And then after I get the rear axle and the gas tank fit in here and get it working, then I'll move on to doing the front subframe and the drive shaft and all that stuff. So it's going to be, like I said, it's going to be a very long project, but I think it's going to be very cool, and the payoff is going to be something very unique that should be able to rip like crazy. But I'm going to go start the Genesis. We'll let you do a little walk around while the Genesis is running, let y'all hear it running, and then close out the video. But I really, really, really hope y'all enjoy this project, because I think I'm gonna dig the hell out of it. All right, here's the Genesis running. It has straight pipe exhaust on it, and I believe he told me that the cats have been gutted. So car still runs, drives. I drove it over here to park it, but engine sounds really quiet. I got to fix some of these electrical connectors. I'm not going to use the OEM airbox. So, I mean, I've got a little bit of cleanup work that I have to do to it, but nothing major. But it runs good, sounds good. Let me get... So, there we go. Hit her. So, it's pretty nice. Everything seems to be working good. Air conditioning works, heat works, power windows work. So, yeah, sounds good. The only thing I haven't checked is the radio. Radio works. So, oh, and it's got heated seats. I may be switching this shit into the Veloster then. I may be putting heated seats in my Veloster now. But it's got 181,000 miles on it. But it sounds good. Sounds pretty damn good, man. Alright guys, so that's a video of the I want to keep saying Veloster. The Genesis running. All that's going to get wedged into the Veloster. So like I said before, really hope you guys will tune in and check this video series out. The first video in this series is going to be the starting of the disassembly of the Genesis, which I'll probably post next weekend, and we'll go from there. But yeah, I'm planning on all of that going into my Veloster. So like always, if you like what you saw in this video, please like, comment, share, subscribe, let your friends see what I'm doing, and I'll catch you in the next video.